For the love
All right,
of God.
all right. Now you can go. I'm sorry. Hopefully
Okay,
this time my
sure.
audio
This
records.
was not the third time's a charm. All right.
Do you have a controller hooked up to your computer?
No, I made sure to
Okay,
have nothing hooked up except for my mic and my everything else that is supposed to get hooked up.
Good job. Proud of you.
So welcome to this week's episode of Apartment Theater. We're on episode 7, and this is supposed to be our good movie compared to the other movies.
Which isn't saying much.
Yeah, no, it's not. But on that note, we watched Kwaidan, which is a Japanese film from
1964.
Yeah, 1964.
And it at box office 225 million yen.
That's a lot of money.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot of money.
So this movie has about an 8 out of 10 on IMDb, 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
IMDB.
DB? Whatever.
B.
Can I just say that I'm not dyslexic, but
I don't believe you.
I
don't believe you. Because you messed up on a lot of those. I mean, I've messed up a lot of stuff on the show. Like being prepared. I'm never prepared.
So the big thing with this movie, and I know you two had an issue like trying to stay awake. This is very big off of
I didn't have an issue staying awake.
Oh, I don't know. You agreed with Cass here. But this movie is very off of Ow, my head! I was just attacked by the hand! For anybody wondering that's listening on our podcast, we are dressed up for Halloween, and we are the Addams family, and I just got attacked by the thing. But anyways,
I am not dressed up. I got lazy.
By my thing.
That's fine. You're Uncle Fester with hair. That's all.
Sure.
I
look homeless.
But this is about Japanese folklore. It has 4 different stories in it. The last story I don't know much on that folklore all too much, but the other 3 I do. So should we talk about them in sections or?
Yes, and we'll go in chronological order.
All right. So
yeah, just do it story by story.
All right. So the first one then is, what was it called? Black Hair. I believe it was directly
the black hair.
I
think so. Yeah.
So let me start with the base of the lore on that one, and then we could go into what you guys liked about it. So Black Hair is mainly off of vengeful ghost. I don't recall them saying it too much, but pretty much he left his first wife to go to a bitch of a wife. And in that time frame of 3 years, the first wife died, and the big thing about not having a proper burial with Japanese culture is that the spirit becomes unrestful and revengeful. Like, the spirit is supposed to protect the family by giving it a proper burial. So that's why the hair starts attacking him, and he starts to get older. She's at a vengeful spirit because she was never given a proper burial, and she died to where she was sleeping, which
is a theme throughout the whole movie.
She also died of a broken heart too.
Yeah, sorrow.
That as well. Because he fucking left her because they were poor, and
she was hot as fuck.
Yeah, she was a cutie. She was poor. She was like, I will do all the weaving so that way we're not poor. And then he's like, no, I must be a man. And I'm like, yeah, you're boring.
I have this great opportunity to move to a noble family.
Yeah, so he goes and he marries into a noble family.
And he hates it.
He hates it, even though,
Does the second wife have teeth?
I don't think she does.
She does. Yeah, they're just black.
I'm telling you,
they're just black.
Okay.
They blacked him out.
Yeah.
All right.
Why? Is that a thing?
I'm sure there's some context to it, but it'd be I'd have to look it up to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was wondering the same thing. I'm like, what's the significance of the black teeth thing?
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some deeper meaning with it or something.
Probably, since she is a noble, that's got to be a noble thing. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Give me the deeds.
My impressions of the first story was I was a little bored during it.
Wait. Stop. Our sound is not coming through the stream.
Oh, great. Great. So we've been doing.
I'm fine with re-saying it just a little bit.
Yeah, all the mics are muted on there. You might, if you redid it, you might have to re-add my mic.
Great.
It's working now? Somebody tell me if it's working now.
You could just turn us up on
Twitch. Know, that's a solid...
Yeah, we're turned up on Twitch and we can't hear us.
Okay. Do that real quick.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to add the mic.
Yeah, then we can... Unfortunately, I'm fine with re-talking about it though, because I want to make sure to get Japanese traditions correctly, because that can go poorly on a podcast.
Yeah.
So
we're doing our best.
Are we?
I'm not. No. I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah. I'm surprised you fell asleep during the second story, because that was my favorite one.
I was trying really, really hard not to.
The podcast, is that what this one's called?
Yeah, the HyperX.
Wait to talk about it.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay, you can hear us.
Now can we hear?
Okay.
Justin?
Can you hear me? Hello. Suck my wiener.
No, we can't hear Justin, so I have to add
No,
Justin.
so you need to...
Great. The sound problems never end.
It's fine.
Welcome to podcasts.
Oh, shit. I forget what you be. I think your audio input? No. Audio outputs us, audio inputs him. Pretty sure.
I think so. I don't know.
I made the mistake of going to Walmart because I was also really hungry. And so I ended up getting a lot of snack foods, which Abby's going to love. But I'm like, God damn it. Why did I go to Walmart?
Yeah, we still can't hear Justin at all.
Wait, Justin, say something stupid in general.
Something stupid in general.
Alright, I don't...
Big cum daddy.
Oh.
Big dick willies. Huge boners.
Why?
Big boners. Have I talked about big, veiny, pulsating boners? Okay, so I'm glad you guys can hear me. I'm just making sure.
I can hear you. Yeah, the Twitch stream can't though.
That should have been him.
Isn't it output?
Outputs us.
Outputs us?
Wouldn't... Oh my god.
I don't fucking know how audio works. Y'all, we're learning.
Is there actually people watching?
Just June.
Oh.
Maddie's gonna
for right now. Yeah.
This podcast sucks. You guys gotta get your shit together. We're trying.
Yeah. We're trying. We're getting there. I'm sorry.
Well, we work. Now I just need to get the to work.
Oh, God. Tasty.
That's media source, color source, image.
I mean, you could do media source too, right? Because that would be capturing Discord.
No,
that's what I use for OBS.
No?
Is oh wait, I just do display capture. It just captures all the audio. Look at this cat.
That's gonna end up capturing both of us.
I'm still recording. I'm just keeping it. I don't
just keep it.
Just
it's
fuck
fine.
it. Whatever. My
We're gonna end
armpit's...
up echoing.
Oh my god, my armpit is so itchy.
We're gonna...
Well, you just muted Justin now.
No, I put display. So, it should...
Boners.
I don't know. Justin, say something.
I'm gonna come.
No, we lost us too.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why does everything work and now everything doesn't work?
Big honkin' bonkers.
Well, I'm also doing a display capture, in which case... It should technically. I'm also directly capturing Discord. So that should also, and obviously we hear him. All stuff's correct. Give me a second.
Technical difficulties.
Wait, can you guys actually still hear me?
I can hear you in real life.
Okay, outputs desk.
I'm a ghost that's behind you.
Mm-hmm. Why are you adding 8 million sources, though?
That's outputs us.
Well, if you're...
On today's podcast, I'm going to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis.
No, you're not. Get out of
Sonic the
here.
Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis. I found this at a thrift store that's not here anymore, and the guy was kind of weird.
You're very strange.
Yes.
Outputs him.
I guess I'll just come back.
Don't do it. We need you to make voice sounds, damn it. Don't smack your butt. We'll fight you.
I think that's what we need. No. I'm gonna make it easier by please.
I just want to let you guys know I ate a really healthy breakfast and lunch today.
Did you?
I ate 4 eggs and 4 Pop-Tarts for breakfast.
Yeah.
And 4 pieces of pizza for lunch.
Ask if June can hear us.
Sweet June, can you hear us?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm waiting for them to respond.
See if Justin can be heard.
Can I be heard?
Actually, probably talk again because I didn't have the sound on and we're waiting on June.
Hold on. I'm going to switch this, and maybe this will help? I don't know. Maybe not. We'll find out. Because I just the sound wasn't going through the microphone. It was going through my speakers. Justin, say something.
Fart. Big, smelly, stinky farts.
Wait. Shut up!
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Farts.
Alright, there we go. Alright.
Big cum daddy.
Lord, dear Lord. Okay.
Great.
Alright.
Now that we have the most awkward... Good lord.
Alright. So, anyways.
What were we talking... Why are we here?
I'm just gonna restart from the beginning.
You know, that's a question we ask ourselves every time we wake up in the morning. Why am I here? Why did I wake up before my alarm? Why can I not go back to sleep?
Welcome to episode 7 of Apartment Theater, where we are reviewing a good movie, which is Kwaidan. Is a Japanese film. I know I'm saying it wrong, but it is a Japanese film. It has 8 out of 10 on IMDB.
There you go. They don't know that you messed up.
91%.
Now they do.
You didn't. Now we know.
On Rotten Tomatoes, and I believe a 4.1 on letterbox. So it has 4 different stories in it, but the last story I honestly don't think is worth talking about because it's so short, and
I still think it's worth talking about.
All right, fine.
It's all worth talking about. We might as well.
Here's how you say it. Wait.
Kwaidan.
Kwaidan?
Wait.
Okay. So the thing is, the movie can also be called Kwaiden, which is Kaidan, as a normal, and then it can also be how it's how it's written for this movie.
You can also call it Schlablunkle, but it's not correct. But you can call it that if you want to.
Okay, anyways. So it translates to ghost stories.
Ah, like the
So,
anime. Just kidding.
We have multiple ghost stories in this, and the thing about it is that they're all off of Japanese folklore. So if you're not too familiar with the folklore in general, it might be a little boring and hard to catch up with. I was very into it because I do very much enjoy Japanese culture and folklore. So I think my interest in it probably was double what you two might have been.
You're also learning Japanese right now.
I am learning.
I'm turning
Japanese.
Japanese.
Oh, let's not say those things.
I'm quoting the
Denied.
song.
Okay, that's fine. I'm muting that part though in the podcast.
Oh
song,
my
that's-
god. Song's
Anyway.
about
Do you-
coming.
Look.
I get
Anyway.
muted and edit it so much.
You don't even understand shit I went through with the last
Actually,
episode.
I do understand. I had a failed podcast. I know what it's like.
Well, let's start with the first story, which is called The Black Hair. So the black hair.
Danny, what's that about?
It's about black hair.
so the black hair.
Wow. We're recording this
Failed
much
so
later than we
quickly.
usually do. So it's
Yeah.
like it's 11:30 for
Don't
for
tell
you
them
two.
that. No, we're on time. We are perfectly on
We're
time.
perfectly on time.
Are
We're
we?
on time. We're on time.
No,
So
we're
the
not.
first story is The Black Hair,
No.
which I guess we'll start what the story's about, and then I will go into the folklore about it, so then we go more. So The Black Hair starts off with a couple living in poverty, and the husband's just
Property?
like, look, I
Poverty.
know I said it wrong. Let's just ignore it and
Poverty?
keep moving on. Keep
I'm gonna have
moving
to
on.
get.
They poor.
I'm gonna get Danny hooked on phonics.
I have it, actually. It's at my parents' house.
Look, I'm better at pronouncing other languages than English. It's fine. Anyways,
Let's go.
so the husband is pretty much like, hey, I fucking hate this, and I got an offer for a hot, rich bitch. So I'm gonna go with the hot, rich bitch, even though you're hot and you're
His
very
words
nice.
exactly. Very,
Yeah.
very ahead of its time with the
Do
with
you
the
remember
wording.
how you were gonna do this story justice? And you're like, I gotta
You're
get it
just
right.
like, now you're just like, yeah, fuck it.
Fucking
All right, no, I said I'm gonna explain the story first that we were watching, and then I'll go
Oh,
into the
no.
folklore behind it and how that like plays into it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so he gets with this hot bitch. She's kind of a bitch and heartless, and
Is she?
yeah, I don't know. She
I don't
has-
know. She seemed pretty fed up with him. She was just
Yeah.
like, "Hey,
I'm
you
pretty sure
just
at
don't
some
give a
point-
shit about me at all. Like you're
Mhm.
just using me for my status.
Yeah.
Like if you
They
you
said
loved
that
your
she was
old life,
cold, though.
if you loved your old life so much, just go back to it then." And he goes
Mhm.
back, and he thinks that his first wife, is still there, and then reality sets in, and he's looking at a dead body, and he starts freaking out, and then her hair starts attacking him, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening?
Okay, so once he gets back after he was gone for 3 years. Once he gets back, he has this interaction with her that it's normal, like, oh, everything seems to be fine, and that's when you find out after they go to bed that it's not fine. He wakes up from the sun to learn that there is a dead body next to him.
As you do.
Yes,
As you
the norm. So then it progresses from that of slowly dying himself. So the big and the black hair attacked him. But
Mhm.
the big thing about like him being attacked in general is in Japanese culture, you're supposed to have a proper funeral for the spirit that left. And I believe it is called, actually, I have it somewhere to get it.
Goddamn notes that you Googled 20 minutes ago.
I did. Well, no, longer than that. I just want to get the proper wording right. Yuri, I think it is, or Yuri. Which a Yuri is when a spirit isn't put down to rest and they become vengeful. And the thing is, she died in their bed, from a broken heart and sorrow, so she becomes this oh god.
She becomes an Avenger. She fought with Iron Man and the Hulk.
She becomes this vengeful spirit and kills him, as he honestly deserved. But that's why, if she was put down to proper rest and, didn't die of a broken heart, he wouldn't be dealing with this. But the neighbors were kind of just like, yeah, she died. It's like, all right, you didn't, help or anything, but
Fuck it, she's dead. Next.
Yeah, she's dead.
So yeah, he starts to age and withers away, and the house starts crumbling too.
Yeah, just to show the fall of this, I guess, not marriage, like love life, like the crumbling of his memories just being driven into madness, I guess is the best way to put it.
This movie has a lot of like.
Okay.
I've taken history of film classes, and I'm not trying to make it sound like oh, look at me. It's like, no. It has a lot of like when you take like a literature class or a history of film class, a lot of what could be the hidden meaning behind this? What does this interpret? Like, when you see this, what is it saying about the scene and things like that? A lot of, some people will say it's pretentious or whatever. I don't. It's like, it's an artsy movie. It is not a movie for everyone. That is like my
very artsy movie.
My biggest warning is, like, if you are someone who is not okay with the more artsy movies, you are going to hate this movie. Mm-hmm. You are not going to have a good time with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just to get it out of the way before we go super more into it, because that's proper English.
Just because I want to get the ghost thing down properly, because I really want to respect the culture that we're talking about right now, and then apparently attack the microphone.
Hey,
So this is the big deal of this whole story. According to traditional Japanese beliefs, all humans have a spirit or soul, called a Rikan. I'm gonna butcher all these words. When a person dies and leaves the body, enters form of purgatory, where it waits for a proper funeral, post-funeral, like I was talking about. And it rites to be performed so that it joins its ancestors. If this is done correctly, still laughing at me. If this is done correctly, they'll become the protector of their family, and great.
I'm sorry.
If the person dies, however, in a sudden or violent manner, such as murder or suicide, if the proper rites have not been performed, if they are influenced by powerful emotions, such as desire of revenge, love, jealousy, hatred, or sorrow, the spirit is believed to transform into a yurei. I really don't know if I'm saying these correctly, but I'm trying. Which can bridge the gap between worlds. The emotion is thought to not be particularly strong or driven, even though unconscious thoughts can cause a death to become disturbed. Once thoughts enter of a dying person, the yurei become to complete last thought and return it to a cycle of reincarnation and vengeful stuff.
I'm sorry, but I just love I want to respect this culture. I'm gonna fuck this up. That was the thing that I was trying my best just to hold in the laughter, because it was just, all right, fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and respect this culture. I'm gonna fuck all these words up. I'm also the person learning the language.
I am the only person learning. Okay, can I just say I am only on food right now?
We're just okay. Let's just get it out of the way. We are respecting the culture. No one, please don't take offense to anything that we say. We're not saying anything inherently bad. We just don't know how to pronounce things.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's totally fine. You know, like if someone has an issue with it, they can tell us, and sorry in advance, but it's okay. I don't think people are going to be grabbing pitchforks for it. You know, we'll just
Not yet. I hope not.
I think we're going to be okay. And from that, let's move on to the second story.
That I completely missed.
The second story that Cass completely missed.
And apparently I missed the titties too.
Which
So
is,
sad.
yes.
Titties.
You missed the titties. Honestly, this was, for me.
They were nice titties. Just
I'm gonna
for
have
the
to-
record.
Wait. So we were supposed to say, I've been kind of like in a comatose state because I ate a lot of carbs today, and so like I was about to fall asleep. I'm fucking wired now. I don't know why. Like I'm ready to go. Like I'm like, let's do this. But
all that carb energy.
it's finally hitting. Like, yes. But yeah. So like I was kind of like going in and out of it for a little bit, but I got the general gist of it. But I would say that it was the weakest story for me, and it was a little boring. But the second story is where all the visuals kick in. Like that's when it really just like, from there it just keeps going, and the momentum just doesn't stop for the visuals. The story is basically about a guy and his friend. I don't really think they explain
his
that.
friend.
Yeah. They're going through a snowstorm, and they go into this hut, and one of the guys wakes up and he sees this woman standing over his friend and blowing basically snow breath. Like she's like some kind of X-Men, blowing into his face and freezing him to death. And she goes up to him and
she's taking all of his blood.
Okay, sorry. That's what it is. It looked, from what it looked like ice breath. Like it's just like like I don't know. But yeah,
that's
okay.
one way to take somebody's blood.
So yeah, he was taking all of his blood. Goes to the next guy though, and she's looking at him, and she's like, I don't want to do this to you. Like
You're too beautiful.
You're too beautiful. I'm not going to do this to
Hot
you.
as fuck.
Pretty boy.
So
they end up fucking way later.
the story itself is called the Snow Lady. I think that's what they titled it. Which is after the Yuki-onna, which is the Snow Lady, which is supposed to be a beautiful woman, which she is beautiful. Long black hair and all white, blue lips.
Banging boobies.
Yes, banging boobies. It's
the
like
BBs.
You can't like see her really walk anywhere. They says that she floats, there's no footprints and stuff. So it's about the Yuki-onna, the snow lady who has good boobs as a human.
The whole time during this story, when you're looking into the sky, you see like an eyeball in the sky.
Yeah.
And it's always her watching him. So there's always some kind of just like all these eyes are watching him. And there's a scene that like kind of like, honestly, it creeped me out a little bit, where he's like, there's trees like to the left and right, like a long row of trees, and snowfield in the middle, and he's walking through the middle, and you see this eye looking at him, and there's no sound or anything. There's no cue to like, oh, there's the eye in the sky. It's just silence. And I think that was one of the best parts of this movie, was that there was barely sound for any of the scary things. Like when she is like slowly walking up to him and just about to look at him, like just like going down and going like eye to eye with him, there is no sound whatsoever. And I was like, oh God. Oh God. Like what, like is she gonna be like super crazy face looking or whatever, and just cold stare? And I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, like I was into this story like all the way. I thought it was one of the best stories. It was absolutely gorgeous to look at too. I love this movie's use of colors. And
Mm-hmm.
when it's blue, it's because it's icy, obviously because it's icy. The warmer colors because there's all the love going on between the ice person and him, and they end up having kids because I can't remember how they like get to that point. They're just like walking around like, hey, what are you up to? And then
I think when she goes to like kill him, he's like, and she's like, yeah, you're kind of really attractive, but if you ever tell anybody about this or about me and this whole thing, I'll kill you. And I believe that her becoming the human and watching and like, they fall in love and become a thing, it was really her just watching to make sure he doesn't go and tell people.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up falling in love with him. They end up banging, have 3 kids. And then there is a one scene which is close to a celebration, so they're like making some kind of like just celebration outfits. Where he gets a glimpse of a certain angle of his wife. To be honest, I don't remember the name of the wife, but gets an angle and it reminds him of that spirit, and he tells her about it and breaking that promise he made, and she said she would have killed him, but because the kids were right next to them, she fell in love with those kids. So I'm not gonna kill you because the kid's right here, but if the kids ever complain about you, you're dead. I'm gonna fucking murder you. And thusly, she walks away into the snow or the blizzard that just randomly occurred, which makes sense because she is due with the snow. And you see her walk into the distance of the tree line with the white past and just blends into it. And I just really think this movie was very visually beautiful. And plus, for being in the 1960s,
Mm-hmm.
like,
those matte
They had a lot
paintings
going
are
on.
very nice. They're
Mm-hmm.
not like super crazy detail, whatever thing, but like the use of the colors
Mm-hmm.
and just the I don't want to say avant-garde because that doesn't fit right with it, but it just
No.
the not typical, like, oh, it's not like realistic paintings or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
like the way that they portray it is very creative. And like Danny was saying, like visually, this movie is top fucking notch. And I gotta say, like, this has definitely been like a good palate cleanser, very long cleanser.
Very long palate cleanser. Yeah,
Very
3 hours
very
long.
long movie.
Yeah.
we haven't had decided to do this end of the month cleanse. So this is like 6 episode cleanse, and
Mm-hmm.
now we're gonna get on track.
Yeah.
This was just making up for all of that we missed.
Yeah.
Lost time. Lost time.
So yeah, so like I said, this was my favorite story out of the 4. And yeah, definitely, like, it's, if you didn't like the first story, it's definitely worth keeping with the movie to get to the second one, because I feel like that's where it really picks up, and from there I thought the movie just kept being interesting. But yeah, so that's pretty much the whole second story. And for anyone that wanted to watch the movie and got spoiled, sorry. This whole thing's gonna be spoilers.
The whole thing that I like about the second movie too is what was happening in the first movie. And I don't know if they did it intentionally, but it kind of like helps play that when the ghost or the mother and the 3 children, they go to the grave of the grandmother to pay respects and give her proper burial and such, and like so she is good in like the next life, and it makes more sense obviously for her
Yeah.
to be a spirit and such. But that scene as they're walking back, some of the ladies from the village are kind of jealous that she still looks beautiful
Banging.
after
Hot and
like
beautiful.
3 kids. Like, it's been years and she hasn't changed.
That's what you get for
And
being a spirit.
yeah, pretty much. I would want to be a spirit. Hey,
So,
I mean, I don't age, so it's, you know.
I mean, you have looked the same the entire time I've known you. So
I know. Yeah.
I've like progressed backwards. I'm not really sure how I've been looking younger, but it's been a thing, kind of concerning. Like, off topic, if we look at me when I was 16, I look like I was in my 20s. And now I get asked if I'm like 18, which you know what? Not gonna complain all too much.
Yeah.
But it's like, I at least want to go somewhere and not get carded.
Yeah.
So,
I'm fine with being carded. Whatever. I don't care.
I just feel
But-
like I look like garbage, especially lately. I just like whatever. I don't care.
Fine.
I go to Walmart with sweats now. Like I don't care.
oh
just,
hell yeah!
Just like leave me
Honestly,
alone.
if I'm not in a cosplay, I look like I crawled out of a dumpster.
Yeah.
Like sweatpants, like
Are you
baggy
telling me
clothes,
you
like, honestly.
didn't crawl out of a
Crawl out of a
dumpster?
dumpster?
Yeah, actually, my name's Oscar.
I thought you were gonna say your name's Dumpster.
Name's actually
Sorry,
Dumpster.
we're getting sidetracked.
Yes.
Third story. Explain away. Since I explained the second one, go for the third story.
So the third story is.
Cass, did you fall asleep during this one?
No, but it's definitely the one I should have fallen asleep to.
Really?
Really?
You
I like this one.
yeah.
Okay, so
I don't know. It was after I was still waking up and like groggy, so I was
That's
like
fair.
half
That's
paying
fair.
attention to it.
Cass
felt
has
a
to
little
interject
bad.
it for this conversation because she fell asleep for half the movie.
True.
Sorry.
we did have like a slight movie date where like we had nice snackage
did.
and like
Well, yeah, you two are
Hot
next to each other.
chocolate.
Of course, there's snackage.
oh yeah. You know,
Snack.
I was texting some snackage too. Like it's been a good
It was
night. That's all
Yeah.
I gotta say. Anyways, so
No, like I like the story, but I was kind of groggy.
But he
like,
fell
halfway
asleep.
through it. I
so
was groggy halfway through it. so.
Hoichi,
Hoichi.
Hoichi the Earless is a very well-known story in Japan. Like
Mhm.
it's very well known. So like going into this is like a folklore that it's done correctly, I guess the best way to do it. So in the beginning we get this war scene of massive people like murdering each other. It was great. This one guy took arrows to the chest, and I made the comment, I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. If he got arrows to the knees, he probably would have lived.
Probably.
I'm just
But,
saying. I'm saying what everyone was thinking when you said
Yeah.
that. Just
Mhm.
big
Yeah.
sigh.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's gamer life. Well, anyways, after this war of murdering hundreds of people, 700 years later, they say how the beaches where this murder has happened, like these weird ass crabs now, like, live there. And then we go into a Buddhist temple where we meet the master and Hoichi, and you find out Hoichi is blind.
Mhm.
But he's blind and extremely talented on the biwa, I think it was called the biwa. I never get
I
this
think so.
instrument correctly. I think it's a beautiful instrument, and how you play it and the like way you sing with it, I think is very like appealing to me.
They said it
Um,
multiple times too in the movie.
Mhm.
I know.
Yeah, it's a biwa.
Yeah, I figured as much. I don't know. I'm dumb. Okay, I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Huichi is on his like, I guess I wouldn't say porch, but he's outside just chilling with his biwa, and a ghost comes up to him saying how his master loves his music and wants him to come tell the stories, because he himself has surpassed his music master. And being that Hoichi is blind, he can't tell that this guy is, for one, in a samurai outfit.
Yeah. In a samurai suit.
It's a
And-
samurai from the battle that happens prior.
So he is a returned spirit.
Because they were all spirits that weren't properly buried because they all died at sea. And so everybody at the temple, are talking about like how there's the sea is cursed because it has all of these souls lost
Trapped
into
in
it.
Yeah.
And so Koichi gets
Hoichi.
Hoichi.
whatever. He gets blind guy gets carried around by the samurai, and he performs for the ghost people. And
He performs for the young emperor.
which they're all ghosts.
Yeah, they're all ghosts.
Yeah.
So he keeps playing for them, and as he keeps playing for him, he kind of dies more and more each night.
They're taking more of his soul.
Yes, until his master finds out, and the master then says, like, you've kind of put yourself in a fucked up situation, bro.
He's nicer about it, though.
Yeah, he's a lot nicer about it.
I just love our descriptions of this movie.
Yeah,
It reminds me of like like those those Hamlet and modern like you have the traditional story on one page, and then you have the modernized version on the other page, but this is like a very slang Urban Dictionary modernized version. So shit was fucked up, yo, but like, hey, this
fine.
this movie that is like very, like I said,
Beautiful.
artsy, tastefully done, just.
And we're just butchering it.
And we are, we're treating it, like it's fucking like Humpty Dumpty.
Oh god. Personally, the third story I think was the most like beautiful, and it's probably because they had a lot more like characters in it.
Yeah, it's also the longest story too. I think that was told.
Yeah.
But once the master find out that he has himself in this screwed up situation with the spirits, he's explaining like you can't let a spirit do that to you, like they'll slowly kill you. So to help him try to get rid of this spirit, they perform a ceremony, and I'm guessing he's just one of the acolytes to the master.
Yeah, he's probably just one of the little studying Buddhist.
So he writes the, I guess, like, I'm going to say story, but he writes the heart of the chakra all over him, which is supposed to help him blind him from the ghost, which I think was a beautiful scene.
Yeah, that was really cool, honestly.
Yeah, it was really neat.
But
that must have taken forever to do, too.
Oh, yeah, for 19.
Oh, I'm sure.
But the acolyte forgot to cover his ears. So the ghost comes back to take Hoichi back to perform to the Empress and the rest of the people, and he can't find him. And you see him and you see the ghost, but then it will change perspectives to the ghost, and it shows Hoichi is like almost in a cover, except for his ears.
Yeah.
So. And he was told too not to say anything to the ghost, like don't do anything, because if you do anything, they'll take you away. Yeah, they'll tear you to shreds. You say.
Yeah, they'll tear you to shreds, and you could not ask for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't say anything. The ghost is just like, well, I have to bring proof back that I can't find the guy. So he takes the quote-unquote floating ears, in his opinion, which are just attached to him. But the ghost rips off the ears. And
he's just bleeding profusely.
Yeah, so now he's blind and earless.
I actually made the comment while we were watching that. I'm like, I know what it's like to bleed out of the side of my ear. This is not enjoyable.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone finds enjoyment in that.
No. The acolyte feels absolutely terrible, and that it's his fault. Which it slightly is, but
it is his fault. I mean,
it's 100% his fault.
He says it too. He's like, a huge oversight on my part. Like, why wouldn't you cover his fucking ears?
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah. So they say the proper thing to do now is to obviously help him heal, and then he becomes more famous because of his story and just the fact that he's talented.
And he still plays.
He still plays, and the emperors all from around like try to bring him back, and he's like, nah, I stay up here. He ended up becoming a really wealthy man because everybody kept sending him gifts to like perform for them. Because at the end of the day, he's still this talented man, and being earless and blind and being able to perform like beautiful music, people find very like appealing.
And that's how he
Inspiring.
became Hoichi the Earless, which is actually the name of the story, which I don't think we actually said at the beginning.
Yeah, we might have not.
I don't think we did.
It was
But yeah,
implied.
I think
about
the
this
third story is beautiful looking because they also cut to these scenes of the actual war in traditional Japanese art.
Yeah.
Which
Like
I
art
personally
depiction.
really
Yeah.
like. So you keep seeing the war, and when he does his singing of the war, they'll have like zooms over it instead of going back to the original fight scene. They'll do the beautiful artwork.
The war that they showed too was really cool. The whole time watching this movie, I just went, this must have been a huge pain in the ass to make. There is so much in this movie. Just so many sets, so many paintings, so many giant props. Like the war scene, there's all these boats, this giant boat, they're jumping off of shit, and like it is.
There's a lot of water involved.
There is a ton of water. Yeah.
The fog looked good.
Yeah, the fog was cool, especially when he was going like the last time to see like the ghost people or whatever, and all the fog's like rolling out from the stairs. Like, yeah, I really liked that.
Really difficult to get on camera too. Like trying to record fog, like you need to really work on like the thickness of the fog itself and how your camera is picking it up. Because otherwise, it's not going to pick it up how you want it.
Like also the fact that all the fog was chilled too, which is really hard to do because fog does not naturally lay on the floor, so it has to be chilled. So when the fuck was a fog machine invented? Because I'm kind of thinking that they've dry iced all of that, which like I don't know if you've ever laid in dry ice fog, but it's not great for your lungs.
No.
Just saying. So yeah, I don't know what kind of technique they were using for the fog. In that
fog machines were made in 1971.
Yeah, so they were probably using like dry ice or something for that fog.
Yeah.
Some kind of older method of I mean dry ice is chilled fog anyway. So that's a fuck ton of dry ice too. Holy shit! Oh my god, the amount. Whoa, that's a lot.
Because almost every single story had fog in it, which is beautiful. Again, it has a nice eerie feeling of it.
I just naturally acquire fog.
There was a lot of it.
But yeah, no, it was really beautiful. And a lot of the like sculpture work and stuff on those sets, amazing.
And for the special effects for the time, really good. There's a lot of like I forgot what they call it, but just layering
double exposure. The double exposuring. Yeah, how they like faded that in and out. Yeah, that was very well done.
Yeah,
like they spent some time on that, like double shooting those and layering that film and stuff on top of each other. To get that like ghost appearance and effect, which is super cool.
Do you guys know what the last story was called?
Reflection of tea, or in a cup of tea.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It was something along those lines.
This one was the shortest one, and basically he's talking about this writer is talking about like how like there's no end to the story.
Yeah.
And then his publisher comes to stories. So
yeah, he's talking about the previous stories and how none of them had an actual end.
Yeah. So and I'm guessing, it's him talking about the stories that we just watched because there wasn't like an actual, I don't know. But anyway, his publisher comes.
I just said.
The publisher of this guy's books comes to visit him, and it's like, where is he? Like I've looked everywhere. Like I have no, like I just wanted to say hi, like New Year's greetings.
See how you're doing.
Yeah, and then his wife's like, he couldn't have gone, but like he's been in here the whole time. She turns to get some water, and oh wait, we totally missed like a whole different thing too. There's another story happening.
There's another story within the story.
Yeah. So there is.
Because the writer's working on a story.
Yeah, so that story is about like a samurai who sees a ghost in his water, and
And
that's
it's like teacup.
yeah, in his teacup, and he's like, "What in the world's going on?" He dumps it out, fills it back up. It gets closer, and like he eventually
The ghost
chucks
face
it.
was kind of funny. I just want to say, like, the face he kept making in the
Yeah.
teacup, I was like, this is great.
Every time he came up, I was just like, eh.
I believe, from what I'm understanding, when 3 other ghosts came back to warn this samurai, I think it was a previous person that he killed. I don't know if this guy was like, I know this guy was definitely the head of like all the samurais, but with how everything was going, I don't know if he was like the ruler of like the manor or anything, because it kind of came off that way. But just because he had this higher stature, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure what way he was supposed to be.
The way that the 3 ghosts show up to the samurai, like when they first show up, was just
yeah.
the coolest looking shot.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I really liked it, especially with like the color balance and everything for it. Like it looked like I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. This is
Yeah.
cool.
For
And
sure.
yeah, so
And
they're
the cutscenes for those too, when he's like
Trying
to fight them and then
One
they
of
just
my-
disappear.
One of my favorite scenes when he was trying to fight them was when they become the shadows and they're reflecting off all the boxes. Like you see their shadows instead of the box's shadows. I think that was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
but yeah, no one believes the samurai that the ghosts are there. They all laugh at him. It's like they went through the wall. Like what are you talking about? So yeah, he ends up fighting these ghosts and
Not winning.
not winning.
No, he kind of does, but he kind of doesn't.
You know, he goes insane.
He goes insane. Like
he's
that's all we get from that story is that like he's definitely going insane.
Right.
He becomes. I'm pretty sure if I saw it correctly at the end, I believe he becomes somebody in the teacup because somebody like the lady saw him in the water.
Oh, that makes sense. That it's
Yeah.
like this cycle forever that like these spirits just to keep appearing to people and driving them mad, and then you become the spirit in the teacup and driving other people mad. That makes a lot of sense.
The lady's scream and how she ran away, though, I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in the water, and she, like, I know she freaked out, but I'm pretty sure it's because he was in the water. It might have been his sister. I'm not entirely sure all too much on who it was, but
it was clear. It could have been like his assistant or something too.
well, the person that was in the room with him that was talking was just like, "You need to go chill and sleep. Like, mom and dad are asleep." Like, it was definitely his sister.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I must have missed that part.
Yeah,
he must have fallen asleep during that part too.
That or I was looking at my phone.
Wow.
It's hard to read subtitles when you're not looking at the screen. Just
Yeah.
saying.
I know. It's like I can get a basis of like look away and understand like semi what they're saying.
Listen, when I was in and out of that second story, I was 100% convinced in dream state that I knew exactly what the fuck was going on.
Hey,
I did.
You see,
it's like I know how to speak Japanese while my eyes are closed.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So
like,
yeah,
no,
so
that's not how that works.
so yeah, so from the samurai part, it ends up going to writer, publisher visiting the writer. They can't find him. Turns around. The wife gets some water. She screams, runs away, and the publisher walks up to it. He screams, and he just backs away from it. And then we see that it's the writer in there.
Yeah.
It's ghost.
It looks like it's the writer's ghost.
And then the end.
Ghost got trapped.
Yes. Ultimately, I think this movie was gorgeous. Like, even if you guys found, like I said, like, I'm very into, like, the folklore and stuff, so I was very invested in it. But overall, the movie is beautiful looking.
Yeah. I mean, like, in terms of dipping your toes into, like, Japanese folklore, I think it's an amazing introduction to it. Like, for those stories and that, like, the artwork and stuff that goes into it, I think it's awesome.
I also think they were very ahead of their time for like that movie production, like The Fog, for example, and like all the transitions, the eye in the sky, like the blizzard itself, when he's walking through the blizzard, like everything was definitely ahead of its time and beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like it still looks modern, like I didn't feel like it was aged. And I mean it's considered an important film too, because it's in the Criterion collection, and anything that goes in that, it's like there is a artistic reason for this movie to be here. And it's fantastic. I would say it's definitely up there with like Rashomon and Seven Samurai, like those kind of. It's not similar style of movie, but I would say in cultural importance of Japanese films, I would say that it is very up there.
And specific name for the movie that I have to find it real quick, but like I said, it is listed as a horror, but it's listed as a specific type of horror. And I saw it earlier, and of course,
is it historical horror?
No, it wasn't.
Because I know that's a thing. You do have historical horror.
Anthology. That's what it was.
Historical anthology. Yeah. I mean, that's historical storytelling. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what it was.
So, this was a good cleanse.
It was a good cleanse. Mental cleanse.
Danny, I don't know why you think I wouldn't like this movie. I have indulged in a lot of really long fucking movies, so I'm especially foreign movies. I'm A-okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the fact it was foreign. I think it was more like I wasn't sure if you guys were gonna like the.
I thought you guys were gonna hate it. I was like, oh, they're not gonna like this movie. This movie is real fucking artsy fartsy.
I wouldn't have wanted to watch it if I didn't like it.
Yeah, but like I was like, man, I don't know if Danny knows what she was signing up for when it came to this.
Danny really knew.
And then I was like, I bet Cass fucking hated this movie. She was probably asleep for most of it.
No, okay. It was not the movie's fault that I fell asleep. It was the hot chocolate and the fuzzy warmness and comfort why I fell asleep. Also, we went shopping today and there was lots of running around.
It's true. My social meter was like fucking fried.
Yeah, that. Also, we had just like eaten a bunch of popcorn. So I was having food babies and snuggly and warm, and I was just like, I'm gonna take a nap. So
it's a movie that I definitely at some point want to watch again. Not like tomorrow, because it is a lot to sit through.
I will say, like, one nice thing is that so it does break each story and like have a little title screen for each story, and then there is also an intermission between the 4 stories, which I took the opportunity to pause and go use the bathroom and stuff. So like, if you wanted to watch the first 2 stories and then like take a break from it, go do something else or like pick it up on another day, like it's definitely a movie you can do that with.
Because in the theaters, they were allowed to get up and do that.
Yeah.
I also think it's something that like when you watch it, you're gonna notice different things every single time, because there was so much going into like a detail into every little thing. So I think every time you rewatch it, you're gonna notice something like, oh, well, I missed that the first time. That's beautiful. And
for sure.
Yeah. Also, the first story though, this guy, like, speaking of poverty, like this, they had a big house. Sure, it was definitely run down. But for the size
of land,
I was like, man, my apartment is like a fourth, like an eighth maybe of this house, and this is poverty. I think I want to live in poverty at this point.
Yeah, they had some like serious land. Like, I don't know.
He just wasn't he did say he wasn't very appreciative.
I keep yawning. I'm sorry.
Good.
It's late. Later than usual.
It's much later than usual.
Yeah.
Why we do these things on Fridays on nights that I don't have to work.
So to wrap everything up, I would recommend it with a little asterisk. If you're not into, if you are like, okay, I don't want to sound elitist, but if you're somebody who can't get over reading subtitles, You're obviously not gonna like it. There are people. I hate that. I hate that there are people that are like, I am not gonna watch a movie that I have to read subtitles. I don't want to read. It's like, look, you probably weren't reading. Period. Like you
The
don't.
best thing I like about those people, though, is they complain about it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you have to read, but then they hate the English voices for things.
Yeah, they don't
Like,
like the
they'll
dubs.
complain about having to read, and then they'll be like, the English voices suck, and it's like, oh, what sense does that one make?
Yeah, it's fine.
You forget that you're even reading after a while. You're just used to it.
You really do. Yeah.
People need to get over that. You've missed a lot
Mm-hmm.
of really good movies. Not
not having
just
being open to that.
fucking
Yeah.
read the subtitles. Get over the 2-inch little barrier you put for yourself for watching movies. You'll end up finding a lot of fantastic
really good
movies
out there. Yeah.
So
Agreed.
yeah, I recommend the movie, and if you don't like subtitles, get the fuck over it. Watch it anyway. And
You probably shouldn't be listening to this podcast.
kiss my ass. read
Yeah,
the
basically.
subtitles. Like
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. There is no reason to not watch it unless you are illiterate or blind.
Actually blind, yeah.
Yeah, actually fucking blind. Then sure, whatever. But if you can read, you just need to get the hell over it. You know, just watch the damn movie. Watch foreign movies. It's not being woke or whatever. It's just watching a fucking movie. I don't care what language the damn movie's in. Just read the subtitles.
Yeah.
I'm getting off my soapbox now. Watch the movie. I recommend it.
Yeah. Hands down, I love this movie. I'll definitely watch it again.
Yeah. For those wondering, it's Kwaidan.
It's spelled Kwaidan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll see it in the title of the episode probably, but
yeah, this one I usually do dumb names for everything.
Just
but
call this
one,
episode Palate Cleanser number 1.
Yeah.
Pelican.
And then put the actual name of the movie. I mean, in the description of every single episode, I do have all of the information about the movie. But I feel this movie deserves.
This is going to be a really long
also
title.
be-
Apartment Theater, episode 7.
It's
Palate
gonna be like
cleanser
that
number
movie that,
1.
Cass picked.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all recommend
even
it.
know.
So it was nice to watch something good for once, because man, there's just been some just shitty shit that
There's points where I walk downstairs and my mother will ask, like, my mother is like pretty supportive of this, and she'll ask me like, "Oh, how's the movie going?" And I'm like, I want to die right now.
yeah, it was
Terrible.
I still have 40 minutes of this left.
I just, like, when I was sitting there watching this movie, I'm like, man, the only thing in my head was like, all right, this movie needs to wrap up because we need to do this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole
already
time I was
accepted this
gonna be engrossed.
Yeah. Good stuff.
But
Also, as a side note, I watched the original Wicker Man, and it's A+.
I told you
It was good.
it's good. It's
good.
It's like a horror musical. The songs are awesome.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah,
But it's good.
I loved
Anyway.
all the songs. Yeah, that's
That's a whole different thing.
Someday we'll talk about
Good movie?
We were talking about
movies.
doing mini episodes. So
where we
maybe
talk
in the
about
mini
movies that we've already seen that we like that we'll gush about. That we'll probably rewatch and then talk about. But yeah.
Oh, that just reminded me. Weren't we going to say our like top 3s of our top 3 favorite horror movies at the end of this episode?
I think we were supposed to. I don't remember.
Yeah, we
that
can.
sentence,
I
but
mean,
hey,
we could
well,
just.
We can.
I don't have.
We're slightly over an hour now, but
I don't have favorite movies, but I'm just gonna go off of like what I've recently watched that I really enjoyed, that I think that people should check out. Which on my Twitter, I have like a whole list of movies that I've been watching. Like I'll post like little pictures of it, and then just under that have a comment of what I thought of the movie. So
what's your Twitter handle? Shout it out.
it's I'm watching someone, but like it's some and then a number one. The rest of it's actual work.
So edgy.
So edgy.
Well, the actual thing is I'm watching something and I wanted it to be that, but I couldn't have the whole thing. So it just was like I'm watching someone and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just do that. That's fine.
There you go.
And yeah, so some of the horror movies that I've watched recently that I've really enjoyed. The Stylist was one that I really liked. It is about a woman who is a stylist. She's not completely there. She scalps people and takes their hair and like acts like them. Like she'll be like in the basement and act like the person. She doesn't go out and walks around like them, but she gets very possessive of one of her customers because she ends up becoming friends and she doesn't have a whole lot of friends, and it gets woo.
Oh,
It gets crazy. That one you can stream on Arrow Video, which is like $5 a month.
Yeah.
And highly recommended. So Train to Busan.
Train to Busan.
I love that movie
need to see that
too.
one.
It is one of the best zombie movies I have ever seen, and I was like I was surprised by how much I was gonna enjoy it because I knew I was gonna like it because it just seemed like one of those movies like everyone's gushing about this, like all right, I think this one, I think I'm gonna enjoy it. And yeah, like one of my other favorite zombie movies is Shaun of the Dead, and like it was on par with that. Different tone. I mean, there's some funny parts,
Actual horror movie.
but yeah, just the sheer volume of zombies in Train to Busan was just insane. Some of the special effects were a little, but you care about the characters, and one of the characters from the baseball team in the movie went on to be in Parasite. So yeah,
that's cool.
Which I don't know if that counts as a horror movie.
Parasite.
But Parasite is fantastic. There is a scene that I would consider horror for sure. But
for sure, yeah.
That is a great movie, great social commentary on it. Not exactly subtle, but I don't think it needs to be.
I don't think it needs to be.
But I recommend that. But I it's in that like weird horror thriller little spot.
I would say it's like psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Parasite.
I'm
like
really into like psychological movies.
Yeah.
That's why Joker is not a horror movie, but that's why I really liked Joker because of it.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. It starts making you question reality, and I absolutely adore movies that do that.
I got bored in Joker.
So the other horror movie that I can come up with, because this is actually like one of my favorite movies of all time. There's so many horror movies that I like. Like I could just go on. It'd be like open my closet door here. Here's all the horror movies I own. And then go out there. Here's all the ones I own on 4K. Like I'll just end up replacing these with 4K versions. But Suspiria, the Dario Argento one, the remake's good too. If you watch one, watch the other. Watch the original first, then watch the. I love the whole color craziness going on with it. The music is awesome. Abby and I will quote it because we'll just be like, witches, because that happens a lot in the movie. Because the band that plays is called Goblin, and their music is awesome. If you have a really good pair of headphones or just a good surround sound system, Dolby Atmos, whatever thing you got going on, it's going to sound fucking awesome. That movie is so cool. It's a little weird, like how the voices are in it, because they dub over everybody and they just like whatever language is going to, they just dub over with that language instead. So it's a little weird, but there are so many insane, crazy shots, and you got that iconic blood that it looks like paint coming out of them. But Argento, like 70s, 80s era, every movie is great. I just recommend watching all of those Argento movies. But
Right on.
yeah,
Very
if you
cool.
had to start with one, Suspiria, that's his best one. But what was your sorry sorry if I tend to spill out like if I talk
Yeah.
about something I like, and I apologize.
Okay.
Do you want to go next, or you want me to go?
I mean, my top horror movies are usually comedy horrors. So Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland are
Oh, I
like
love Zombieland. Though.
are my tops. And then like Army of Darkness as well.
I was about to say Evil Dead, the
Evil Dead, Army
Evil
of
Dead
Darkness, like
trilogy.
that fucking trilogy, love it. I actually really like the remake as well. The one that came out recently. I like all of the little Easter eggs and things that they put into it as a nod to the original movies. Um, I think they did a good job with it.
The last like
That's
30
just
minutes of that movie were fantastic to me.
yeah. So in the remake of that, there is actually a scene that makes me cringe, which is really hard to do in horror movies for me. Like most gore and shit, I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. But there is a fucking scene in there that I'm like, I literally was like gripping my seat. I was like, oh fuck, god damn it.
Is it the one with the chick where like when she gets like pinned down and then she like
No, actually,
oh
it's not.
oh
It's not that one. That one's a really good scene though.
yeah
Like it was very beautifully done, but it is
the,
not that scene. Which I know like the scene in my head, maybe looked super fake to other people, but like I think they did a good job with it. So, and I'm not gonna put it out there because I think it's worth
the
watching.
it's
But
especially for the ending, just
for
how
the
it ends
ending,
is
it's good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Metal as fuck is how I would describe the ending
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, for sure. I
So much
also
blood.
like the original Let the Right One In.
Yeah.
Um, super like mind trippy kind of stuff. Um, that's also another like foreign film.
It's a Swedish film.
It's
Yes,
a
it's
Swedish
Swedish.
film. Yeah, it's really good. The American version fucking butchered the story.
Yeah, I know there was American
There's an
version.
American version of it, and I think it's Let Me In is the American one, and Let the Right One In is
Yeah.
the Swedish. Um,
See, I watched the
so
Swedish one. I still need
watch
to
the
watch it.
Swedish one.
It's so good.
I watched 16 minutes
I
of it, and then I didn't
It's
hate
good.
it or anything. Abby came home, and then I had to stop watching it.
Yeah, there's a lot of like weird stuff in it because I know it's based off of a book.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
a
is based off
novel.
a novel.
Yeah.
Yes, I
And so
almost
there's a
bought it
lot of
too.
there's a lot of stuff in the book that like I think the Swedish one kind of pulled in that the American version did not. So yeah.
That was actually the film I wanted to watch for this week, but then I realized like I've seen it, so it wouldn't be good. But I love Let the Right One In. I was gonna say it. She beat me to it, but Let the Right One In is absolutely beautiful. I love it. There's screwed up scenes, and I adore it.
I'm gonna
It's
probably watch it tomorrow. Honestly,
yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
you should.
romantic horror, which is a little weird because the romance is between like they're like 12 and 13ish around there.
yeah.
But it's a romantic horror, and I think it's really good. I really enjoy that one.
Yeah.
Let's see, what's another hashtag alive. It's a Korean film, and you can find it on Netflix. It's so great. I subjected Maddie into watching this.
Oh no.
And I believe I believe I remember them saying that they enjoyed it. But it's a really good zombie movie. So I believe the guy's a creator. I don't know if he's a creator or not.
Yeah.
But because he starts like posting stuff, but he posted stuff on social media saying hashtag I'm alive, come help me. While he's stuck in an apartment and like he can't leave because there's zombies literally everywhere. I mean, there was a point of like, if you want to watch it, I won't like give too much away, but you can see like to the point, like there's points where it's just like I would have done something like that, that he does. So I really like it. It's on Netflix, so hashtag alive. It's good. Another one that I know Justin hates. is
A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place. The
Fuck that
reason,
movie.
okay,
I'm sorry.
the reason, my reason for liking the movie though, is that it's close to a silent film.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very largely based with sign language. I love sign language. I really want to learn sign language. Um, that's what I liked about it. Just because I haven't seen like one of those things in forever. The story itself, if it was actually like spoken and stuff, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it. Like most likely have not enjoyed it. But I just like the fact you're seeing them try to live in a world where they have to be literally quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely helps that the daughter was deaf, so they all knew sign language.
Yeah.
But I just like that it was
They have
like
to be silent
borderline.
unless they're hanging out by a lake. Then they can just talk.
Well,
Like a
because of the white,
waterfall.
it's a white sound. Guys,
white
come
noise,
on,
yeah.
you know it's a white sound. Don't even argue with me on that one.
The moment you pick one thing in that movie, you just start picking more and more and
Yeah.
more. It's a monster sensitive to sound. You never thought to use feedback at any point.
Yeah, right?
Once that
Well-
happened, I was just like, I'm fucking done with this movie.
I mean, there's a point that they get cut off, like
Mhm.
cut off from like radios and stuff. For all
Yeah.
you know, they could have figured that out. I haven't watched the second one yet. I want to watch it. Haven't watched the second one yet. The second one apparently
Yeah.
goes more into that, but they were completely cut off. So there's a high possibility that like the country figured that out.
Yeah.
And possibly push them creatures closer to their home because of that.
The only positive thing that I can say about that movie, it's not like it's incomplete shot or anything. Like,
Yeah, there we go. I got Maddie in chat. Okay, see?
I don't
They
care.
agree. Hashtag- Look, Maddie hates horror movies, so I was really excited to get him
Yeah.
to watch one at least.
The only thing that I can say is the premise is interesting. I don't think it was executed well, but I wouldn't mind if someone else with a better script tried it.
Yeah, that's
and-
what I'm saying. Like,
and
I
then-
like the aspect of it.
I don't mind when I mean, I'm not like a horror hipster. Like, I know that I just
Are you sure? Are
I-
you positive
I
that
tr-
you're not a horror
I
hipster?
try not to be. But any movie that can get people further into horror, I'm all for. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
this movie, if you loved it and it got you to watch other horror movies,
Dope.
by all means, I don't care. If
Yeah.
this is your favorite movie, great. You are allowed to like whatever you want. And I am allowed to say that it's fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
Just like how anyone could say that if they hated Suspiria or whatever, great. I still love it. I don't care.
I think that's what makes it great, though, is because we all have different. We have definitely views that are great on movies that are same, but we still have our own opinions on what we find is good in horror movies. So at least it always keeps a debate of why we think something's good, instead of just a podcast of trashing a movie. Like,
Yeah.
you get both sides of why somebody might not like it, but why another person does like it.
It'd be really funny if this was our most popular episode because we were positive for most of it.
Probably. Probably. Yeah.
Hey, these depressive piece of shit are
And
actually
they're like,
happy.
hey, guy, like, we'll just look at the data and it's like astronomical that this is better
Yeah.
than the other one. And we're like,
Yeah.
all right, so we're a positive podcast now. We're only watching movies that we'll like.
Hey, you know.
No, I do like that we had this palate cleanser.
Palate cleanser. Yeah, I
from-
think it's a good idea.
From the start of all of this, I said that I want this to be something where we're
Fun.
watching movies that we've never seen. Because I don't want to retread unless we specifically have a retread episode thing where we're talking about like a certain movie that we really like that we just want to talk about, then sure, that can be its own
Yeah.
thing. But for like the palate cleanser and then just regular episodes, I want it to always be movies that we've, because there's so many movies
Yeah,
out
there really
there.
are. There
Like,
really are. Yeah.
One thing that I keep getting asked, I might have to just break this into two different parts, which is fine, like to me. But,
No, it's a podcast. There's podcasts that are like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
If anything, people are like, this
Fine.
is an hour and 20 minutes. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Um,
It's fine.
One thing I constantly get asked. So it's to a point that everybody, at least in my life, knows that we do this podcast. And it's really, I don't think they're very happy when I come at them because they love the new Halloween movie, and I come right back at them of the first one's great, the second one's okay, the rest of them are horrible.
They are horrible. Actually, hold up.
Like it.
Okay.
I said the second one is okay.
The original Halloween is a classic.
Yes.
It's not really scary, at least I don't think it, because I mean it's a movie that basically everybody copied off of.
Yeah.
I mean that's how Friday the 13th was created. There was like, copy this movie. That's it.
Yeah.
And I like that franchise more because that's fun. It's terrible, but it's fun to watch. The Halloween sequels aren't. But it's one that I want to go through that series again. But yeah, the first one is great. Second one's
okay.
I still recommend though that people watch Season of the Witch, which is Halloween 3. It doesn't have Michael Myers in it, but that was the point. It was actually supposed to be like an anthology series for Halloween. It wasn't all supposed to be Michael Myers, but then people bitched that Michael Myers wasn't in Halloween 3. So then they brought back Michael Myers, and that's how we ended up with all these shitty sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently the new Halloween movie is hot garbage.
Oh,
not surprising.
And that's exactly what I don't want to see. I actually try to avoid sequels on good movie. Like Jaws. I like the first Jaws. I refuse to watch. I've seen the other ones, but I never want to watch them again.
I've never made it through 3 or 4.
Well, the only reason I watched the other ones was because of my mother. But I just really. That's a movie I would not go out of my way to watch more of them because there is no sequel possibility with that at all. The same thing.
And that's where you're wrong. There's 4 of them.
Oh yeah, I know.
Well, my favorite thing about everything that you guys are saying is I don't think I've ever seen any of the Halloweens, at least not all the way through. I've never seen any of the Friday the 13th Freddy movies. I've never seen any of the Alien movies.
We watched Hellraiser.
All of the classic horror movies, classics, I've never seen.
We watched Hellraiser together.
Yeah, we watched Hellraiser together. I don't count. Well,
that
I guess
movie's
I
fun. At some point,
that movie's amazing.
At some point, I would love to talk about Hellraiser 1 and 2 because I love those movies.
I will say though that as a child, because Maddie just put Child's Play in chat. Me and my cousin watched Child's Play almost like a religion.
I love those movies too.
It's the same thing as with
we're getting on a tangent. We should wrap it up.
We should wrap it up.
Okay. Well, so yeah, everyone watch the movies that we talked about. Watch the main movie we talked about. And we're sorry if the tangent, if you hated it and you clocked out on it, whatever.
Fine.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And take care. And watch scary movies. Even past Halloween. Who gives a shit? Watch whatever the fuck you want.
Scary movies are always fun.
I watch horror movies all the time. Eat my butt.
We have a podcast on it, so obviously we have constant enjoyment on it.
Yes.
But
get your blood pumping.
If you want to know the awful stuff we watch, we are now on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're on Apple, but I'm still waiting for the process to go through.
We're also on the Samsung fridge.
Yes. And exclusive. We are on Amazon Music, and
everything. We're on everything. If you use it, we're on it. Except for YouTube.
Apartment Theater.
We're not on YouTube yet.
If there's a way to review us, please give a review because that helps analytics and boosts us so other people can see our stuff.
Honestly,
hear our stuff.
If it's even a bad review,
it helps. Yeah, it helps. And we are trying to get an actual Twitch channel for Apartment Theater as well.
I'm really lazy.
In there.
We're gonna have a YouTube too.
We're gonna have a YouTube.
We have a TikTok.
We have a TikTok.
Some people just unsubscribe just from hearing that.
Yeah, they're like,
I'm a TikTok creator. I have to also have a TikTok of my podcast.
We're everywhere.
Our podcast.
We are everything. Also, feel free to, if you find us on some sort of social media, suggest movies to us that you think we haven't seen. Do that.
Sure.
So give us some hidden gems.
I'm probably going to be the easiest to add with the Danny Grace cosplay across TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. The other two are... Well, you don't go on your Instagram and your Twitter.
I do. I go on my Instagram. I just don't post it.
I don't have Instagram. But anyway, this is Midwest Goodbye. So
yeah,
Midwest Goodbye.
Yeah,
I'm
goodbye.
in the Midwest right now. I got
everything's in the description. Whatever. Bye.